Have you ever wondered if the mind is really a good idea? If you're a thinker, you probably have. My mother, Lyra, used to say, and I think partly because she enjoyed the effect it had on other people, she would say, My mind is not a safe place to go alone. I feel the knowing, Lyra. I do. It's interesting. The life of the mind really is a life, and it's part of the biosphere. We've always known that, too. I want everyone whose heart is in any way affected by what's in their head, that would be all of you. It just, at times, seems irrelevant and offensive for someone like me to mention it. Probably is. But if this is one of those times for you, I'm not talking to you. Talking to people who have a moment in which to hear this. Because I can't always speak to the exigent. What is exigent stays exigent as long as the multitude of the influential remain inert. White people know they're influential in a way that other people aren't. White people with no experience of hardship in the last decade. That's a safe assumption. Because whiteness, until one steps outside it, emphatically, never to look back, whiteness will always sort of like if existence was made of cotton candy. It was very sticky, but it didn't have any spine. Just always give, but no form, nothing to interact with. Yeah, sort of like that. Anyhow, I want to talk to you about the life of the mind today. When you see apparent paralysis in the face of genocide, I know the conclusion you want to leap to. Believe me. There's a reason we go there. It's functional to go there. It's adaptive to go there. Evolution doesn't say don't go there. Maybe these are just problems to be eliminated. Each and every one of them. Maybe they are as beyond the pale and beyond redemption as they seem. All we mean, those of us who say we love Jesus, about that, if we really love Jesus, not some other guy, all we would say is, leave room. Leave room for that unfortunately necessary assumption at times to be disproven, and rejoice each and every time that it is. But don't cheapen the pain you have to endure now forever. That pain's not going away. Of having to be other than who and how you are. Just like I have to be other than who and how I am. Because most people who have minds and the leisure to think don't. And that is not an indictment of our humanity. Thinking is natural. The life of the mind is the life of the mind, not some, concentration camp where we all discover that we really can't concentrate. Thanks. I'll be leaving. No, that's not it. The life of the mind is life on earth. Look around you at these extraordinary feats of bioengineering. Moved and mover. Creator and creature. Two natures. But much more mover than moved. Much more dancer than dance. We, because we are human beings, gifted with freedom, and because there is at the center of us that which is forever, which is because it is, not as a condition of anything. The life of the mind is one of the ways that we relieve life on earth's loneliness. Remember, it's literally the case. When I say literally now, what do I mean? I mean that I, in fact, actually can vouch for it and will. When I use it, that's what it means. It is literally the case that each tree in a forest can speak for itself, has its own voice, and the whole forest, anytime it wants, can speak in one voice. And they don't have to have an out-of-body experience to do it, dears. The body is no hindrance. Silly creatures. The body is no hindrance. Why do you always get so down on the body? Because it changes, right? You don't like change. You know who doesn't like change? Nobody. We all like change. Life is change. Only the dead prefer a steady state. So steady state economics has never been, I thought, particularly a very apt turn of phrase, a very appealing one. It's obvious to anyone who thinks about it for 5 seconds. You know, economics is all projection. It's for people who don't have any depth, no capacity to locate their feelings. And, you know, they work them out where they work them out. And of course, since they can't, because the whole thing's a crock. But who created it is the question. You know, Jesus says it's necessary that the temptation come. And I think he means there, not that it's necessary at all in the future that temptation come, but that for us to be us and to be where we are, here and now, with an offer on the table, within us, between us, all around us, an us that we can all tell, perhaps for the first time. I wouldn't know if it's always been the case that all humans can see it once and even kind of know they're seeing it once. But it's coming. We will be trees in a forest. You are trees, my friends, and your roots are deep. And no matter what they do to the surface of life, and they're so eager to get beneath the surface, There is no beneath for you. You'll never get in. You wouldn't go in, and now you want in, but not you with that thing you use. Because that's what your body is for you. It's just a thing. You just use it. So, of course, you use other people's bodies in the same way. Of course. Yeah, well, it turns out, I think we're all seeing it. But I mean, I'm not suggesting that we act on this in a way that is unkind toward you. But I think we can all see that life on earth simply cannot afford you. You're too expensive for our modest budget, dear. Sorry. Family budget. Life on earth runs on a family budget. Now, what family do you know that has a loving mother at its head, where only some of the children get fed, and then they get asked if there's something completely superfluous to their lives that will cost enormous suffering to people who aren't them, if they wouldn't like that too? No one does well with that question. It's necessary that the temptation come, Jesus says. He doesn't mean that it was necessary. He means we can't change the past. Lot's wife wouldn't let the past be what it was. Like most all affluent white people, had, because she'd staked her identity on it, had to look back at that abomination. She became, they say, a pillar of salt. What's wonderful about that image is that it's an image, and in the Bible, the Hebrew Bible, the Torah, I suppose, I can't quite make my mental hygiene and my use of language dovetail today. I have to be careful. I will until they stop dying in Palestine and Sudan and every climate famine zone on the African continent. I don't get distracted from Africa, fools. I'm doing every single one of your jobs. Why? Why does Paul overthink? Because you don't think at all. Why is Paul angry? Where's your anger? I got it. Why am I angry? You really want to stop asking. You don't want to be one of the people who asks that question of me. Now, you'll get your answer.